UK editor at The Big Issue and Charlotte Griffiths, editor-at-large at The Mail on Sunday. Very good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Lovely to see you both. So we're going to kick off talking a little bit about water, which is obviously at a premium at this time of year in a heat wave. Kick us off, Paul, with the Daily Telegraph's front page. They're talking about families potentially in future having to pay more for water during heat waves. Yes,
as if water companies weren't hated enough at the moment. They are now announcing that they're introducing or looking at introducing surge pricing. So if you have a water meter in your home and there are some 500,000 households in England and Wales who now have water meters, during periods of increased need, when it's very warm like now, 15 firms are suggesting that they are going to charge more for use of water because water use goes up at that time. The intention, according to Ofwat, is that this will stop the need for hosepipe bans, so that people see their water meter and they know that they're going to have to pay more. Water use will go down. There's some strange little details in this that they are looking to target some customers who use more than normal. For instance, customers who use 685 litres a day, which is as much as 13 wash cycles or 8 baths. That does not feel like domestic use to me. I don't know what is going on there.
Is that people with swimming pools?
If you're using that much, then you should pay more, I think.
But also it's families. I've myself got 3 kids. I know how many times we fill the paddling pool, obviously when there isn't a hose pipe ban. It sounds crazy, but when you've got 3 little kids running around, the sprinklers, which this is also cracking down on, are everything. The sprinklers, the paddling pools, you actually really rely on them because it's absolutely boiling. The kids are melting.
Yeah. But they are saying that the average household, I think it's Southern Water that says the average household is 438 litres, so 685 is quite a bit more, isn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe, yes, it's lovely to be able to fill up your paddling pool lots of times, but I guess if there is a shortage, people would rather, rather avoid hosepipe bans, I guess.
Maybe this is the people with swimming pools as well, which fair enough, isn't it?
But there's a suggestion that there's a slight bit of Big Brother watching you here, because if you do start to use a bit more and it is before surge pricing comes in, it is going to monitor if people are using their hose pipes when they shouldn't. So that it is a way of saying, well, we know that your water use is up significantly, therefore you've got to pay the £1,000 fine. So it does feel as though this is going to be in the future a place of contention for an awful lot of people.
Definitely. I mean, I've always had this worry about smart meters, and you know Uber surge pricing. It's actually nightmarish. It goes up a lot. I mean, obviously Ubers are optional, whereas water isn't optional, and it's horrible when they kind of double and triple. And this has always been my fear, I'm afraid to say, about the monitors and the smart watches. And also it ends that very old and very British tradition of neighbours dobbing each other in. Because now your meter's going to dob you in and you get issued with a £1,000 fine.
Yes, this is potentially, I guess these are all pilots at this stage, and it looks like different water companies are trialling out different ideas, you know, whether you get paid more for use or whether you pay more at certain times of year. But it does look like we may have to pay more for our water in future, according to that article at least. Take us on to The Guardian, because this is related, isn't it? Charlotte, reservoir levels fall to a 10-year low in England. I mean, this is part of the problem, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the same thing. And, you know, some parts of the country have ground-sourced water, some have reservoirs, and it looks like it's a problem that's only going to get worse. And what The Guardian's done is looked at previous years and seen that, yes, indeed, the trend is going up, that these reservoirs are indeed running out faster and faster every summer.
Well, yeah, and there is a commitment to build new reservoirs, isn't there? I think last year the government announced that there were going to be 9 new reservoirs built by 2050, but that's a long way off. Well,
it shows the necessity of it and the terrible planning that has gone in that's allowed us to get to this point, because there hadn't been any new reservoirs built in Britain for a generation, and clearly the increased volume of places where we can collect water so that water can then get to households is vital. As climate is changing, as it gets warmer and we need more water, if there is going to be surge pricing for water, we need to be able to supply it. So yes, there are going to be more reservoirs, but it's going to take some time to build them and then to fill them. And that's not really going to help in the short term.
And the farmers, of course, the farmers have to water their crops. And they got implemented this year with this hosepipe ban, as it were, a farmer's hosepipe ban, before the official hosepipe ban. So they were kind of pretty nonplussed about this, obviously, because they actually have to water their crops to survive.
Yeah, so there's some concerns definitely in that industry. Meanwhile, the weather at Wimbledon is always an issue of concern. The article here, I think, is from The Times, and they are saying that hosepipe bans have spread as fans wilt at Wimbledon. Are they saying that there's a hosepipe ban in that area?
This is a very different kind of water ban. This is Evian water.
Oh, this is a different article.
No, it's
I should say this is a
hilarious,
different article, because this is about hosepipe bans as fans wilt at Wimbledon.
Yes,
I think the hosepipe bans are South East Water and Yorkshire Water, but this is a different water article that you're talking about, is it not?
Yes, they're two very
Mail.
similar. So there's one in the Mail and one in the Times. But basically, on the higher end of the scale, out of the reservoirs, the Evian bottles have run out. So what happens is you go to Wimbledon, you pay £5 for a refillable bottle, and then there's 11 recharging stations around Wimbledon, but they had to shut down 9 of them. So people were very cross because they paid for their £5 bottle and they couldn't refill them. Plus they were wilting, as that headline said, at Wimbledon. And now what they're having to do is give out single-use plastic Evian bottles, which is embarrassing because the whole, point was to get rid of single-use plastic at Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
My heart bleeds for them that the Evian isn't there. I find this remarkable. Does this mean that Wimbledon are shipping in tankers full of Evian water specifically so that the well-heeled of Wimbledon can say, well, it's not just tap water, it's Evian water? If that's the case, just go to a tap. I can't see that
I have to say, this article doesn't answer the question, but when it said you could refill your Evian at a station, I did think, isn't this just a branded usual water station? Because otherwise they would have to be shipping in tankers, and that beggars belief. But I think you might be right. I think that's what they were doing. I love the headline in the Mail, Uno, that's just so funny. But it looks like quite a lot of them, including Leonardo DiCaprio, were mainly sticking to the champagne and not much water anyway, so he'll be OK.
That's not exactly keeping yourself hydrated, though, is it? Let's move on to the FT. And again, this is another article which won't necessarily mirror most people's experience anyway. It's about butlers.
Well, butlers is the nice headline, but it's not just butlers, Anna. It's also housekeepers, chauffeurs, chefs and nannies who, because there's been an exodus of non-doms, or according to this story, it means that there is a surfeit of people doing these particular jobs, which, according to somebody named in this, Caroline Baker, who provides management services for luxury property, says this is good because it's easier to find good quality, high calibre candidates because there's so many wealthy people leaving.
And this is because of an exodus of people because of the non-dom changes. We are out of time, but you will be back in the next hour and the hour after that to go through other stories in the papers. But for the moment, thanks both very much indeed. Thank you.
I'm Stephen Murphy, and I'm Sky's Ireland correspondent based here in Dublin.
The waters